Well, welcome to Between Sundays, our new podcast here at United Church in Walpole. I'm Pastor Anna, and I'm so excited to have our music minister joining us today, Eithne Stover. It is so good to have you on the podcast.
Thank you, Anna. I'm so excited to spend some time and chat with you and talk about all the fun music stuff happening at our church.
Yes. And this is the beginning of the program year. So we are spending some time. You just spoke with Jazz last week. And now this week we're speaking with you. We're being able to kind of just get people excited about what's happening in our church as we begin another program year. Now, what's always kind of funny to me about church program years is technically the church has a program year that begins at Advent. That's liturgically when the church is supposed to turn over and sort of, but in reality, in our culture, it just never works that way. We are so tied to like our school year. And so I just think it's kind of something to just be aware of like, hey, this kind of beginning to a program year is a little bit made up. But it is tied to this feeling of ebb and flow that we have throughout the year, with summer being sort of a quieter time in many of our lives. And then we gear up for fall, where it's back to school, back to work, back to a different pace and energy for life. And so here we are in the church living into that rhythm as well. And so I'm excited. A new program year. And so, what are you excited about, Ethna? What are you excited about this year to bring musically to our congregation?
Yeah, I'm definitely catching that excitement of a new year, starting out because, we've disbanded a lot of our ensembles for the summer. And so now people are coming back. We have our first choir rehearsal starting this evening. And it's always fun to kind of pull people back into the rhythm and the routine and kind of check in and see how everyone is doing. Summer for me is a lot of choosing repertoire to plan out for the next few months as far out as I can. So there's a lot of excitement around that. So yeah, I'm definitely, here I go. Definitely excited about all of that. Yeah, so we have all our ensembles are starting up. Like I said, our choir is starting this evening. Our bell choir, we're in heavy recruitment mode right now. So there's a lot of electric energy around that. Recruited a couple of new bell ringers. They'll start up in October. And then back this year, I can't really say new because this isn't new, but come back this year after a couple of year hiatus is our United Church in Walpole band, which is super
Oh,
exciting.
oh, that's so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, there's
Yeah. So
a lot of energy around that.
yeah, and I do wanna, like, paint the picture. Now, when I first started at United Church in Walpole, we had a band, and my understanding is, I think Mark Anati started the UCW band.
That sounds about
So,
right.
yeah. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Mark Anati. And then we had a little bit of a hiatus. COVID took its toll. We sort of came back with the band sometime, but we were also getting a lot of feedback from the congregation that they wanted much more traditional music. So, listening to that feedback, we decided to sort of, press pause on all the band music and just take a breath and let us sort of live into a more regular rhythm of worship with more traditional music. But now people are itching for the band. That's what I'm hearing. So,
Yeah, it's been
people
coming
want
from the
that.
congregation.
Yeah, so I'm excited, and I've heard that you've got some new people joining the band this year as well, and so every time a band changes with new members, it's an opportunity for a new musical expression. And I hear there might even be a cello in this year's band. Is that right?
Yes. I'm so excited about this. One of our youth has stepped up and said she really wants to play cello in the band. And you and I had a little chat about that the other day, but there are definitely some very rhythmic, percussive things that you can do on a cello, playing bass lines, which I'm super excited to explore with her. I think that's going to be very, very fun.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So
Yeah.
it's going to be exciting to have the band playing in worship on occasion, having our choir singing. I think they'll be singing in worship more this year as their repertoire keeps growing and going. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. Our choir is now branching off to singing in 2 worships every month. Yeah, because they've spent the last couple of years just building up a nice core, solid repertoire, and we're excited to, put them to work more. and they're excited to do it too. They've been bursting to get here and they're ready.
I love that. Now, if somebody is listening to this and thinking, I'm not a trained musician, but I wish that I could participate somehow. There's something inside me that like wants to sing or wants to be in a band or wants to play bells. What would you say to that person?
I'd say, come and chat with me. I'd be happy to meet with you, sit down and talk. You're always welcome to sit in on a rehearsal. And then, people come with all kinds of different background experiences in music. And some of our choir members in particular, they can read music, but some of them don't, quite honestly, or they can just like follow like the rise and fall of a melody. But we really do try to make it as accessible as possible for all learners and for all musicians who want to participate. I'll do a lot of practice recordings so people who are more comfortable learning by ear can listen to the practice recording. I just put together a whole YouTube playlist of all of our upcoming hymns and songs and pieces so that if you're doing your housework at home or doing whatever it is, working in the yard, you can listen to that, learn by ear. Same thing for bells. With bells, you're really only responsible as a beginning bell ringer, one bell or maybe just two bells. But we color code the music for you. So if you can just track and follow along, then you'll know when it's time for you to ring your bell. You only have to track one or two bells. That's all you have to.
Wow. And so
So
you're
that,
reading by color. You're not reading the notes even.
yeah,
My goodness,
yeah.
that's so good.
Yeah, so that's just another way for us to kind of make it accessible. And oftentimes people who end up playing bells are people who like love music, but they don't feel confident about their singing voice. And they really do find a home in bell choir.
That's
So
so awesome. I
yeah.
love that. And I think it's so neat that, between bells and choir and band, what we're really trying to do is not about performance. It's really about creating opportunities for people to dive into the ministry of music themselves, to offer like a spiritual experience. And that's really a lot of the thinking and the theology that goes into the why of what we do when it comes to music ministry. So I'm wondering if we could just spend some time, let's just kind of unpack that a little bit. Like, what does music bring to us when we come not as performers, but just as worshipers to participate in music ministry? Like, what do we get from that? What's underneath there? And I'm curious what you think about that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the prime things that I believe, and this is really strong and dear to my heart, is instant community. So you can't really sing or play bells or perform with other people unless you're connecting emotionally and all sort of on the same page and able to have a collective energy. And so it's a wonderful, wonderful community building activity. It brings a lot of joy. We talk a lot about the loneliness that's in our culture and how hard the world can feel, but there's a lot of joy to be found in making music in no matter what way that you want to do it and making it with other people. Now, the neuroscience field is exploding right now in studying the brains of musicians and studying the brains of people as they are making music together. And they're just finding all kinds of connections with how the dopamine and serotonin hormones are released just from connecting with other people. So science is backing all of this up too. So
Yeah.
it's just great. It's a wonderful way to connect with other people. And I'm really holding on to this word joy these days.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, I
joy
love
is a
the
big
word
one.
joy. Yeah. And especially when, things are going tough in your own life or you're getting really overwhelmed by the news. I mean, the news coming out yesterday was, like there's just so much that can break your heart in the world. And so being able to find that reservoir of joy and again, joy, I'm going to get a little preachy here, but joy is not happiness. It's not just this ephemeral feeling. It is a deeper well where it doesn't deny the darkness of the world. It doesn't deny the reality of our feelings and experiences, but it says, and yet and still, I am here. I am breathing. And that's something that's so cool about music too, is it's so connected to our breath. And we know from, Hebrew scriptures and from our own lived experience and from doing yoga or what have you, that breath work is so powerful for spirit work and just for that work of joy. when we're making that music, we're connecting to that deep reservoir of joy through the breath that is the reminder of life. It is literally life within us, and we're using that life force. We're connecting to that life force. It's so powerful. I know I was sharing with you that like I love singing in our church's choir, even though, quite honestly, I can rarely perform with the choir because usually when the choir is performing in the worship service, it's like right before I'm getting on to preach. And sometimes I need that time to be getting my head in the sermon and doing my last minute review of my notes before I get up there. And so I'm not even always performing with the choir, but I love Thursday evenings being with you, being with all our choir members and having that experience of making music, just lifting my voice with others is awesome. And I just hope that somebody gets to experience that this year who's never experienced that before. And certainly for all of our existing choir folk and music makers to come on back and be part of that. But it is so, so, so awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very well said.
Yeah. And so what I'm thinking is also about sort of vision and big dreams. This year we actually did something we've never done before. We threw out there a opportunity for folks to fund some of our not need to have, but want to have items coming out of our core ministry programs. You and Jazz put together a list of a little wish list. And I'm wondering if you might want to share a little bit of what's on your wish list and what might be possible if we're able to fund those wish list items.
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing on my wish list is we'd really love to have hardback, like copies of our pew hymnals for our choir. And especially now that they're moving into singing twice a month, it just makes a lot of sense that they just have that available to them for when they're helping lead the congregational hymns. So they're $25 a piece. Like it's not a big ask. So if that's something that someone would like to participate in, that would be a wonderful gift. And then, you told us to dream big and dream bold. And so we put in there, like, wouldn't it be wonderful to have a soprano section leader and then a baritone section leader? Because this would just give our voices in the choir more confidence, like another strong voice, someone who's like a good sight reader who can help carry them through. That would be really fantastic. I think if we had that, it would really bring our choir up to the next level. They're already doing fantastic, but having that support of someone else would be really, really great.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And especially for folks who are maybe not music readers themselves, when you have somebody who's a strong singer, you can sort of latch on to them, follow along what they're singing, and it can be so, so helpful. Well, I want to
Brilliant.
just unpack one thing that you mentioned. Now, you did mention pew hymnals for the choir, and I know our history of hymnals here at United Church is a complicated one. And so some people are wondering, what the heck, what is this glory to God pew hymnal? It's not the hymnal that's in our pews, which is the New Century hymnal. What's the backstories there? So I know this predates you a little bit, Ethna, but I want to like just go over that real quick for those who have questions about that. So we switched to printing music in the bulletin and using slides for our music when we did our big AV install. And so, in order to facilitate that, we use a hymnal most Sundays that's printed in our bulletin. It's the Presbyterian Glory to God hymnal. That's actually one of the more recent hymnals that's come out. And being a more recent hymnal that's come out, it exists not just in a book format, but it also has a whole online portal where we can download the slides to use in our PowerPoints every week. And it also has PDF files of all of the hymns, easily downloadable and printable. Now, unfortunately, New Century Hymnal doesn't have that. And the other thing that I'll just be honest, I like about the New Century Hymnal is it keeps a little bit more of the more traditional language than the New Century Hymnal, while still updating it theologically to reflect sort of our theology. But the New Century Hymnal got rid of all the these, the thous, and the thys, which sometimes is great, but sometimes like how great thou art to me is always how great thou art. It's not how great you are and whatnot. And so there's a lot of that, which actually I know, the New Century Hymnal was not always the most popular hymnal in many, many, many congregations, not just ours, for that reason for a long time. And I do think that Glory to God has struck that healthy balance of keeping things theologically in line with where we are in terms of inclusivity, but also keeping a little bit more of the traditional language that we feel comfortable with. And so that's what we mostly use as a congregation these days. And so, again, yes, I think that, as you said, it would be awesome to have that hymnal in its form for the choir to use. Now, I know some people have also mentioned to me, well, heck, maybe we should just get Glory to God for all the pews too, which would be a lot more money. We're not doing that yet, but I'm not against it. If we want to update our pew hymnals, put Glory to God in all the pews so that everybody who really wants to use a hymnal, because there's something to that, would have the opportunity to do that as well. Sure, I think that'd be cool, but it's a little expensive. So we're starting with the choir this year, if making sure that they have the full Glory to God hymnal, which would be awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm excited about that. And I know that we also have a concert series happening this year as well. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yes, we have a concert series that's starting up in September. It's typically around the third Sunday of the month. It'll be like a Sunday afternoon, and it's being organized by our very own Quinn Facey, who is our pianist organist. And the first concert is coming up September 21st, and it's going to be Virginia, which I just realized I don't know her last name. I should work on that. Figure that out. But Virginia is going to do a solo piano concert for us.
And
And then we
Virginia
have
is Quinn's girlfriend.
that's right.
Yes.
And she is also a piano performance doctoral student at Boston University. And then in October, we have Bobby Joe Valentine coming.
Yes.
And then in November, we have another concert pianist. In December, we have Vince Guaraldi Trio. So that'll be our own Mark Anati and Quinn and a bassist who are going to be doing that. And then in February, we're hoping to have Kathy Meyer, who is a very hot organist in the Boston area, a good friend of mine, but also she is Quinn's organ mentor. He takes lessons from her. And we're working with her to see if she might give an organ recital in February. And we're still finalizing the March one, but it's very exciting.
I love that. That is so exciting. And our choir is going to be doing a concert this Christmas too, as well, right? The Nativity concert coming back. We'll be doing
Yes.
that in East Walpole this year with our friends at Union Congregational Church.
Absolutely. That was the highlight of many of our ensembles experiences of last season was getting to sing in that concert. So that concert is December 6th. It's going to be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. What's really special about this is that our choir get to sing with professionals. One's coming up from New York City this year. Several of them are in the Boston area, but these are like paid professionals. David Bozon is coming back this December to sing with us, a tenor that everyone just fell in love with. And so what's really great about this too for the choir is that they get to sing with professionals, which really supports them. And that allows them to dig into really great choral repertoire. So this year we're diving into a Bach cantata, Cantata 191, Gloria in Excelsis Deo. We're diving into a John Rutter piece called Carol of the Angels, and a couple of other pieces that I'm very excited about. These are pieces we wouldn't be able to pull off by ourselves, but having these paid professionals supporting our choir and then combining choirs from different churches just transforms everything. And I tell you, if you were lucky enough to go to that concert last year, it was spine tingling. It
Yes.
was beautiful.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Well, Ethna, you must be exhausted because this sounds like a lot. We've got sounds like a concert almost every single month, a huge cantata at the end of the season, three different ensembles that you're leading and growing, as well as we didn't even touch on it, but Threshold Choir, which is really your fourth ensemble, which is a community ensemble that we support here at United Church. And it's so awesome. They've been doing so much good work. So give us a little snippet about Threshold and where they're at this season as well.
Threshold. So we have a group of maybe about 16 very dedicated singers. We rehearse twice a month and we rehearse songs that are specifically created to sing at the bedside of people who are preparing to die or in the throes of dying. They're beautiful songs. They bring such comfort and ease. And that's really the ministry of Threshold, is just going in and singing at bedside and being present.
That. And so they are continuing to work on their repertoire and their skills as bedside singers. And they are singing out at Newton Wellesley and then also available to sing for anyone in the community, no matter what their faith or no lack of faith or wherever they are on their life's journey. We will go and sing at bedside for folk. And so that is awesome. So my goodness, Ethna, so many things this program year that you are leading and inviting people to be part of. So many opportunities for people to be part of music ministry. What
And
sort of
Evensong is coming up. Don't
oh
forget
my
about
gosh,
that.
we didn't even talk about Evensong. Yes.
Yeah.
Now tell us about Evensong. What are the Evensong themes and direction you're taking this year?
Yeah, so still working that out. I'm very close because the first Evensong is coming right up. It's September 14th. I think the theme of that is going to be around grounding, like returning to the earth as we enter into the season of fall. I do tend to have a lot of very creation aligned themes. I think that's just kind of naturally where I'm at, but they do seem to resonate with folks too. So
Absolutely.
Evensong is just a very simple 45-minute service. There's a lot of music. There's participatory music where people are invited to join in and singing. And then sometimes there are solos. Sometimes I invite guest musicians, sometimes not. It does take place at 6:30 to 7:15 in the evening. We transform the chancel with so many candles and just trying to set a very nice, soft, welcoming ambiance for people. I love it.
As you do it, we tend to get all kinds of people who might not be just our Sunday morning crowd. A lot of folks who are coming from other faith traditions will come to Evensong. And I think that's something so beautiful about it that it draws in this different community. And it's just such a sacred time of day during that Evensong twilight hour that we are invited
Yeah.
to sit and to be in spirit together. I love that.
And the fact that it's a Sunday evening, there's something really special about that too, that people tell me it just sets me up for the week.
Yes.
You know, it gives me that grace and that peace and that calm. And I know I'm going to wake up Monday morning. People say they sleep really well after Evensong. So I
Yes.
don't know.
I have even heard of folks who listen to Evensong recordings as they fall asleep. It is so
Yeah.
soothing and so restful.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Wow. So much ministry happening from Ethna. It is awesome to hear about it. We've got Evensong, Threshold Choir, Bell Choir, band, all of these concerts, this huge nativity show that we're doing in conjunction with the union. My goodness, your plate is full, Ethna, and we're so grateful. So I know we've already talked about this before, but I hope you hear from the whole community that it's okay to just, make your way and not everything has to be perfect and you just kind of live into each moment cuz boy have you got so much that you are bringing us and we're grateful just to be part of the process of making that music with you.
Thank you for those words. I so appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Thank you.
wonderful. Yeah.
I feel very, very, very blessed. This is like my dream job in many ways. So,
Yay. Oh, it's so
yeah,
awesome. Well, it's
yeah.
awesome to have you doing this ministry among us. Do you have any other things that you want to make sure the folks in our community and our wider community know about as we begin this year?
My big focus this year is just inviting as many people as even have a tiniest inkling that want to be involved in a music ensemble to come and just make music with us so that they too can experience the joy and the community of that. We just have so much to offer that people don't even realize until they sit in on a rehearsal or participate. So I just want to spread that because my goodness, we need it. We all need it.
We do big time. Oh my goodness. Yeah. It is so needed. And And what a beautiful thing to feel invited. So, anybody who's listening today, if you want to be part of making music or coming and enjoying the music at United Church, know that you are welcome. We are opening the doors wide this year at United Church. And here we are off to a wonderful start. So, thank you so much for joining me today, Ethna. And we can't wait to see you singing and making music with us very, very soon.
Thank you, Anna. It was a pleasure.